first, but I have to say I'm really happy that it is.
Okay, so today's the Ortelius General Community Meeting,
Dang it.
December 1st, and we'll get it going here. So everybody please sign in. I threw the link in the chat. If you're looking for it, also it's on the calendar invite. You can find it there as well. Let me go ahead and so just go over some of the working groups, the architecture and marketplace. I was able to get the bridge for the SAS sign up removed and the website updated. So everything should be coming along straight through into the Deploy Hub team, which is Ortelius Undercovers, as part of that sign up process. So we will need a few people to go ahead and test that process. There should be some better edit checks in place. So if you're trying to use your existing user ID or name, you may end up having to create a new one, but that's okay. It doesn't. The amount of space that Ortelius actually takes up in the database is really small because it's mostly just pointers to things. We don't have a huge number of large persistent objects that we are storing. So please go through the sign up process again. Let me know if there's any bumps, open an issue. And one thing that we are doing is I've consolidated all the issues. There may be a few stragglers out there, but under the Ortelius repo. So I've moved the issues off of the like the sub projects all into here. As per that, and we'll get to that here in a second. Let me get back to the doc. So we did go through, there is the delivery plan out there. One of the things that it looks like that we are going to probably prioritize first is going to be what I like to call component sets, tightly coupled component versions that we need to deliver as a package. So just to bring everybody up to speed, the lowest level that we have is a component version. Component versions are then packaged into application versions, and then application versions in the Deploy Hub Pro world are packaged into releases. What we need to do is to add another intermediary level. So component versions can be packaged into component sets, and then component sets can be packaged into application versions. The one thing we need to look at is whether we want to make everything go through a component set. So you have a component set of 1 or a component set of 5, for example, and then you package component sets into an application version. That seems a little bit unnecessary. I think we should just be able to take a component version or a component set and package it into application version. So that's kind of what some of the prioritization, and I'll be going through and creating some tickets based on our delivery plan that's out there. We did do a dev walkthrough almost 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. And the next one is we're going to do is how Ortelius fits into the CI process. No date yet, but it will be on a Thursday. I know that. I'm just going to look at what we got going in the next couple weeks here. Also, there was some talk about what GitOps means towards Ortelius. Tracy, why don't you go ahead and talk about some of the reward, what happened on the outreach side?
So we do have now, we are working on a set of personas at the open source level. So committers, supporters, I think we talked a little bit about it. I did not get a chance to go through and start building out the reward system because I got too distracted playing on the website yesterday. And I'm trying to get all that together for to make sure we're all ready for next Tuesday. But we'll continue on it. I'm guessing that we're going to create a reward system that has a mix of attendance at meetings, pull requests, and external external to GitHub activities, whether it be creating a blog, possibly recording a how-to video, uh, maybe holding a meetup. We'll start doing those kinds of reward systems. I did look at possibly using Mo. Siddharth is not on here, but he had suggested that. I think that what I'm going to do first is look at what can be externalized so that everybody can get badges first. But we can create an internal reward system like Mo. I think we'll just, they're harder to do. I think you have to be really focused on looking at what other people are doing and going out and rewarding them with Mo.
Tracy, like I had a suggestion for this reward system. Like,
Yeah.
can we do a combination of all these things? Like in the previous connect, you mentioned that we are like the kind of developer, like casuals, or some contributors are casuals, some are core members. So like in order to distinguish them, so like what we can do is that for every issue, like Git, Steve had mentioned, like Gitcoin, like most of the open source projects are now doing kind of the ICO kind of thing. They are open source projects. So like for every issue, whether it's marketing or any kind of issue, where like we assign some like the crypto rewards like Git token, and then after a certain point, suppose like cross suppose 10,000 or suppose 15,000 based on our criteria, what we can do that we can start giving out the LinkedIn badges. So that will also be like they can show that on your profile as well.
Yep.
We can do like combination of both of that. I was thinking.
That's a great idea.
And what do you think about just throwing this out to the group? Like on Stack Overflow, where people can vote, and give you a thumbs up, thumbs down on your answer to your issue. Do you think that's a worthwhile thing to look at? Anybody?
I think it's cool. Yeah.
Doesn't GitHub have something already built in like that?
I don't think so. I'll double check, but I know like on the Stack Overflow and what's the one, Expert Exchange you have to pay for to get in for that. They try to do that to weed out a lot of the stuff, but they have the more plus ones you get, the higher your rating is. So just throwing that out there.
Huh.
But what it really has to do, I think it could be a little bit skewed because not everybody's going to be looking at every single issue. And, if I get some bizarre issue that's buried down in some weird C code that takes me three weeks to fix, but nobody, it's not like a front end issue where, it's going to be like a flashy thing that the rating on it could be skewed on that level.
Yeah, when you fix some plumbing, it's not as interesting as when you paint a wall.
Yeah.
I mean, but like if I think that's okay. I mean, you've got how relevant it is to people is always going to be, part of whatever they're socially focused on. And, that doesn't have to be the only thing that we feed into the gamification. If you contribute a certain number of lines of code, then that could be another thing that feeds into whatever the bucket is. But I feel like having like the number of people that commented or the number of people that added emojis to a GitHub issue or something like that gives you a idea of how much people care and are interested in whatever that issue is. And so, fixing stuff that more people are interested in should generally be helping us. And, I'm a back end plumbing sort of guy. And so I definitely don't want to have that be less important or people not be able to get stuff out of having that sort of contribution. But like the markdown thing I did, that was a lot of changes, but there probably weren't that many people that cared about that as much as I did. And so I'm okay with, oh wow, I put in hours of work, but it really wasn't what people cared about, so I don't get as much credit for that thing.
Right.
Right.
And I think there's going to be a lot of work that's done in that way. There's going to be a lot of grunt work that has to get done that isn't necessarily front facing, where people can say, "Oh, that's really great."
Well, I think Karam hit on the nail on the head, where we have to take multiple input sources to kind of push this along. Depending, like we were talking about, the casual, the core, those type of, what the roles are, and look at it that way.
Yeah, and somehow we're going to have to figure out how to automate some of this so that
Yeah.
things happen in a
And this also makes our life easier, like in order to distinguish the persons. Like otherwise, what is the criteria to set? Like we speak in the oral terms. So this will like help us in that as well. So like you will also get the coins as well as you get the LinkedIn value. So like both ways, it's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the reward system is definitely a work in progress.
it's going to take us a while to get it
yeah.
down. We just need to make sure and bring in everybody's thoughts about how to build it out.
So
I will continue working on that, though.
Yep. So next Monday is the outreach marketing meeting. So if you want to drop in on that one, we'll be talking about that in more detail.
And then next Tuesday is our donuts and beer. And then that brings us to the, we're getting close to the holidays. What is everybody's thoughts about continuing the meetings through the holidays? I'm not looking at a calendar, but this next community meeting would be on like the 15th, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm thinking that's the last one we should do, and then take the full 2 weeks off.
What time are we doing that, Tracy? At 8 or 8:30?
8:30. And I'll send out an invite today, and I'm going to invite the folks from the CDF as well.
Yeah, because at 8:30 would make it a little bit easier for like Tracy, Miranda, and like Dan Lork and stuff.
Dan for the
Dan.
yeah, it's
I forgot
7:30 for
Tracy's
them.
on the East Coast.
Yeah. But anybody have any objection for us shutting down from, say, the 20th through the 3rd? Look at a calendar. I think
After we had a
everybody
meeting on Thanksgiving, we're stopping for Christmas.
I know. I know. I thought that
I'll
too.
be here.
We're going to be here working. I'm okay with it. I just don't feel it's like. Well, let's keep going then. Let's see. We don't have any Christmas is on a Friday, so we'll just keep pushing forward. If people don't want to attend, it's not mandatory. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure
Around is
attendance
awful.
is going to be light, but at least for Tracy, Steve, and I, this is like hella early in the morning, so it's relatively easy to do the family stuff later in the day.
Exactly.
And the weird part is, I don't know if your guys' companies are going to do this, but Tracy and I have always been in the financial industry, and they always would do a lockdown of production, like November 15th through through like January 5th. So you just sit around and do nothing. Because you couldn't check any code in or anything like that because everything was locked down.
Maybe what we should do then during that kind of more quiet period is let's focus on really trying to sort out what we need to do for application sets. Let me see if
component sets. I hate the word
yeah,
application set.
Okay, component sets. Let me get Michael Galloway on a call because he's the one that brought it up. And see if somebody on his team who's really struggling with it can't meet with us and give us some requirements.
Michael's from Netflix, right?
Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will do that. And then we can at least get started on it. And if anybody wants to learn, you know, database work, it's going to be mainly database changes.
Couple tables, couple columns,
Yeah.
nothing too major.
I'm very good at breaking things. All in.
There is a talent to breaking things. There really is a talent to breaking things.
They call it
Have you
chaos
considered going
engineering.
into QA? QA really needs you, Sasha.
Yes. Yeah, since QA testing was way low on the list, we need the random ones.
Chaos testing.
Mm,
So, like Tracy said, we were plugging away at the contributor personas. That doc's getting formed out there. Thanks, Tatiana, for taking that on as a lead on that. Also,
Tatiana, why don't we just take the moment? Why don't you share that and just walk through those personas that you've come up with for contributors?
Of course, just a moment.
She's put a lot of time into both our end user personas, and it takes a lot of thought to do that.
It's a very good doc. It's very, very thorough and amazing what we've
Yeah.
done.
it's awesome.
did you find it, Tatiana? Or
Yes, I found it too.
Okay.
I will just share the Google Doc. I think it's just much easier to read it here. So basically, we've discussed that briefly with Nito, which or who we want to mention here, like the users, right? So the first one is our programmer Polly. So basically, we define this person as someone who is already professional in the space and interested into contributing to the project, and he has a lot of knowledge and experience, great understanding of microservices, great experience working with different level of people in the team, both like executive, senior people. This person could teach others, and basically the goal is just at the one hand be like a creator for the Ortelius, right, and help to build stuff based on the experience, based on some insights, and you know, just avoid some of the issues which you might experience in the past, and also meet new people, build community. So this is about our first person. And also I think that for people who are already who are already experienced, right, it's also sometimes interesting to try a new role. So one of the motivations which I outlined, that this person might be interested in doing maybe some more project management stuff or delivery stuff, maybe spend more time on security issues. So if you have, I think that I could share, I think that I've shared actually this link to this document in our Git issue, but please feel free to add your comments if you feel that you know, something could be changed. So another one, I will go very quickly through them. So another one is basically person also from the software engineering world. She has less experience. Maybe she's just starting. She's making her new she's building basically her career, right? So that's why being part of Ortelius open source community could help this person to learn some new stuff, to work on the tasks which she might have never been working in her current project, or she might be even not employed yet. Maybe it's a college graduate. So basically for a person like Paula, our community, Ortelius community, could help just to land a new job, to understand how people are working on the projects, to be hands-on, doing some engineering stuff, and also meet new people and you know, like learn from others. So another one, we named her like enthusiast Ellie, but basically I think, all of us could be also at some point defined as enthusiasts, right? That we are helping and applying our knowledge on the project. So I described this person in particular, thinking about myself more. So I outlined that Ellie has background and experience in business analysis. So she might have some experience in product management. She also has a good technical understanding and some hands-on experience working with some scripting languages, with databases, testing maybe APIs and databases. And her main motivation to work on the project is also like try herself in a new role, work with other people, and she might have never been working on an open source project, as I have never been, and it's just interesting for this person to be involved in in such kind of activity. Then we have a project manager, who I think we also mentioned last time on our session, right? That regardless of our self-organization, it's also nice when someone with project management experience could help organize all the tasks, all the issues in like different departments. So take track of everything what's going on in Git in our example, and also project managers are, at least from my experience, are always good communicators and facilitators. They just have a specific set or like the specific mindset, right? That they are just always keep an eye on different timelines, on different like on different deadlines, right? And all the timelines which we need to follow. And also project managers might have some good, how it's called. So they might know the people who could help us to spread the word about the product and the project on which we are working on. And basically for the motivations, I outlined that this person could improve his own knowledge and experience leading the project, specifically open source project, and kind of get recognition for successful delivery, successful rollouts, and it could be measured through the feedback which we could be getting, or like through actually adoption metrics based on how many users or how many companies are interested in leveraging Ortelius. Then product manager, also kind of one of the main motivations or contributing factors is just explore like a little bit new areas, maybe be focused more on product marketing activities, since sometimes product managers are being very narrowly focused on some more like technical stuff if it's a technical product manager. So I think that in this particular use case, I described that Peter, as a person contributing to our project, could help more with go-to-market strategy, with measuring success of the project, collecting some of the metrics and KPIs, and also leveraging his experience, run some kind of competitive analysis, and kind of keep moving a project forward and trying to understand what are the new opportunities for us to be, like leaders in what we're doing. And one of the frustrations which I mentioned, that he might not have a good hands-on experience working in the project which is related to microservices or CI/CD. And I think that's the last one. Yes, so the last one is about veteran Vault, who I believe would be the person who has a great, who actually has excellent communication skills, who has years of experience, who has great domain understanding, knows a lot about competitors, and this person could really help to make connections to be like a leader of to be a leader in like promoting the product and making those right connections where which we could leverage in terms of reaching out to the world, reaching out to other communities and spreading the word about the product. And this person probably would be one of the greatest supporters, primarily from the like business or industry side. And why this person might be interested from how I see it, that it's a new quite interesting initiative in the industry, and this person again might be just interested in the idea. He believes in success of the project, and that's why with his experience and his contacts and his network, this person could help to promote project and move it forward. And also one of the I also think that we discussed this last time, that support engineer would help us with with kind of support, right, with like making connections, right, with our community, with the external community, with our users, helping to keep eye on any kind of issues, or maybe just the questions about the product, be that connection point between our end users and engineering team. And one of the motivations for this person would also be like, being into this and contributing to the open source project, and also maybe at some point trying to wear maybe a different hat, maybe do more technical stuff, and to dive deeper into DevOps role, for example. Maybe in future he or she would be able to transition to like a DevOps role.
Awesome.
So thank you. That's
awesome.
about just contributors.
I have a question actually about the persona doc. This is different than the persona doc that's in the shared drive.
We have two. It's another one. Yeah, if you could
Why do we have
share.
two?
Yeah, we should have one that is Ortelius persona doc was initially started as end users, and then we should have one that's called Ortelius committer personas. And Tatiana, if you could save that in the
So
outreach.
move it to the shared folder.
Okay.
Shared folder under outreach.
Okay.
So
And
I
what
threw the link in the chat, but also it's in the meeting doc if you need to grab it from there.
What I'd like to do is get this kind of finalized by, early January. Then we'll go ahead and check it into somewhere in Git so everybody knows where it's at. So Tatiana, maybe you and I might just do a little refining. I think we need one. We really need some data scientists.
Okay.
We need, because we're the back end that we have, we're going to be able to collect quite a bit of data about where things are, their success, their failures. It'd be very interesting to get a data scientist perspective. And I've spoken to many of them, and I can't seem to recruit one. I've not been able to get the because I think they're in demand right now, and so they're pretty busy. But we need somebody who's a core person that's a data scientist. So I think it'd be interesting to get your take on what you think a data scientist would be interested in.
Of course. And actually, Tracy, I've added myself just during this meeting to the data science section in the README file.
Oh, you did? Good. Good. Maybe you're going to be our data scientist then.
Because our own data scientists, exactly.
Yeah, we have a massive database. There is so much data in there, and I feel like one of the areas that we are missing out on is pulling that data forward and really creating some interesting reports and some predictions.
So we're going to run over a little bit here. So if you got to scoot, don't worry about it.
The meeting's scheduled for an hour.
Oh, I always think it's a half hour for this one. But anyways, so thank you, Tatiana, for all that hard work on that. That's awesome. And like Tracy was saying, Christopher, there's two sets. One is the open source contributor persona, and the other one is the end user personas. And then the end user persona one has branched out into the POC doc as well. So there's 3 docs. I'll get the links to the other 2 in there.
And I do have to bounce. I have a CDF meeting I'm supposed to be at. So we will talk to all of you.
Well, I'll still be here to finish this up.
Yeah, because this is not my meeting, right? If I
No.
kill this. Okay. All right. Bye, you guys.
All right. So
Bye, Tracy.
some of you probably have seen the GitHub notifications flying around. I did do a reorganization of them and cleaned up what we need done. So based on what we started for the Hacktoberfest, I got through and broke out what's needed for each microservice, the remaining pieces there. So I think I assigned most people to the right stuff. But if I miss something, just go grab it. And in there, like in this one, for example, I put links to, for example, of what we need to look at as a base. So you're not going to be flying in the dark on this. I did put links to when you update yours, where to look as a sample to get you started there. So you'll see a bunch of new issues out there. I still have to go through and create all the issues for the videos, for like training videos around pull requests and getting started, the first 10 minutes with Ortelius, those training videos issues I have to get out there. And a couple other little things I need to get through and finish cleaning up. But it's moving along. We're looking pretty good here on that front. So if you have some time, take a look at the issues that I updated, and we'll get cracking at it again on those. Like Tracy showed, we did update the website. Right now it's just a placeholder logo until we get a new one in place. So basically this is what we got. Some weird, this is a SVG, and for some reason it's not rendering on my machine, which renders on hers. That's something new. We just did this yesterday, so I'll have to take a look at that. But the most part, the layout, the navigation is the same. Just updated the look a little bit. This is all getting ready for the press release that goes out on the 8th. And as part of us joining the CDF, they want us to do a podcast and a webinar. They wanted to do it December 15th, but Tracy pushed them off till January. It was going to be too much of a scramble to record a whole podcast and a whole webinar in the next 2 weeks at that. So that's going to be coming up. If you're interested in being on the podcast or webinar, drop Tracy a note. The more people that we have on it, the better it'll be. The podcasts are really easy. Jackie from the CDF will go and basically like interview you. It's like kind of like an interview session, talk about what we have going on, and then she'll go through and edit it before it gets posted. So if you're interested in that, same with the webinar, we'll go through and record the webinar piece, we'll edit it, and then it gets pushed out from that level. So that's what we typically do on the webinar front, and then there'll be a question and answer that goes on in the chat session during the webinar, and then questions and answers obviously as part of that. So next Tuesday, 8:30 Mountain Time, we'll do our donuts and beer, and then also last week, and I saw a couple come in yesterday, but we have about 8 to 10 new members that want to contribute. They've been popping up on the Discord channel, so keep reaching out to them. I know when new people come in, I say hi. We need to try to start taking what Tatiana's put together on the contributor personas and figure out where they fit and slot them into the right places. So we have to kind of start prompting them for questions on the Discord about what they're interested in. Parajat is working on the forum. I gotta review that, but we'll be using that as well as part of the process to onboard people to the project. Here's the link to the shared folder. Like we said last time, we just needed to get things organized. So that is a shared folder with a permission set based on the Google group security. So if you have documents, Google Docs, please copy them over into there. And there's going to be a bunch of subfolders out there that you'll see. That was the main thing that I had. Anybody else have anything on their side? Alrighty. So
back on the PDF thing.
Yeah.
So like, is there anything scheduled for that to like go and listen to, or do they just send out a recording, or?
Well, what will happen is that we have to record the podcast, and we'll record the webinar pieces, and then there'll be a date that they get pushed out after they've been edited. So this is going to be, I think, January, maybe January 15th or something like that, or 10th is I'll say January-ish. Is when they're going to, when we're going to go ahead and put them out there. So what we would do is, like for a podcast recording, basically I think they use Zoom, and they just record the audio off of the Zoom, and use that audio track as part of that. So we can bring in as many people that we want. So if we want like a round table around Ortelius, we could do that. Those type of things. So you can have any level of participation as part of that. And same with the webinar. We'll need help putting the webinar together as part of that. Like I said, we go through and record it, and then we go through, clean up the recording, and then that's what we push out and run for the webinar with a chat that's happening on the side. Does that help, Christopher?
Yes, thank you. That makes much more sense.
Yeah. And that's going to be like the on the training videos that we need to do. Those will be basically follow the same process where we'll pick a, how to, like one of the first training videos that we made to do is, how to fork and clone the Ortelius project. So that's going to be like a 3 to 5 minute video. What we'll need to do is just get the raw footage recorded, and then we'll go through and edit it up and put in like the splash screen with the intro, and then the tailing part, and clean up any of the goofs that are in the recording. So that's where and then from that, once we have it clean, we'll push it up to YouTube and link it to the resources site. And that's where I'm going to be actually adding in the issues for the recordings in the next day or two. So that's going to have the process. And still trying to figure out Twitch. We did talk about Twitch and how that's going to come into play. Still up in the air, new technology, but we're going to start looking at the possibilities around that. Anything else?
Hey Steve, like I wanted to play out on the Discord channel, like I wanted to like use a bot Like every time someone joins, like we can have a hi message as well as some like introduce yourself, and we can have like instead of you always sharing the docs and all those things, we can like add it together in a particular welcome message. So like, can I go ahead and
that would be awesome. Yeah, so if we could do, just let me know what you need from to get that installed. But let's go ahead and there is one that comes with Discord that just says such and such person has joined, but it's just a one-liner. But I think, like you're saying, Karam, is giving like the links to everything in the welcome message would be great.
so like I saw something like MEE6, like I sort of show a small video. So I think so like we don't need to do any coding. It's already created. We just to like customize it as per our needs.
Perfect. Yeah, whatever we can grab from another project, that would be give us a big jump start on that.
Right.
And just let me know if because I have access to as the admin to the Discord server. Let me know if you need anything permissions wise to get stuff installed.
Sure, no issues. I will just have a look and like connect with you.
Because I did install a widget bot, and so this widget bot is actually corresponds to this Discord here. So it's a plugin into the WordPress site, and it allows us to go ahead and from the website talk to our Discord channel without having to be sign up for our Discord channel. It's like a proxy as
cool.
part of that. So that will show up. So if you see people coming in this widget block showing up, that's what's happening. It's coming from the website side. And I got to see what broke here. Sasha, did you touch it?
I'll tell you guys, I was breaking things. I was breaking things today at work, but I was also fixing them. But yeah, I had one of those days. I broke it twice.
How come our logo looks so weird through here?
It's just my screen the way it refreshed.
Does the same on my side, just so you let me know.
It does?
Yeah.
That's an SVG. It shouldn't do that, I wouldn't think. I mean, it's all off-centered. The letters are all weird.
Oh, you know what it is? It's that font that you used.
I guess I'll have to get rid of the Terminator font.
Oh.
I know, exactly. It's my
Or
favorite
if
font.
there's a way we can embed the font in it, but that's what's happening. This is the website's defaulting to
But I thought an SVG was
the
just
sans font if it can't find one.
Depending on your SVG tool, you can take the font and vectorize it so that it actually ends up as vectors in the resulting thing. But like Steve's saying, it's just in there. If it's just in there as a text object within the SVG, it's relying on the available fonts.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what because it's.
I guess I still have some work to do on this then.
Yeah, but see if it'll let you vectorize your font within your SVG tool. I don't remember if Inkscape will do that off the top of my head or not.
Yeah, it's Adobe Illustrator is one
Then
of
we
the
should
few.
be able to embed it, right?
Yeah, that's what
I'm saying. If you vectorize the font, then it's embedding the vectors for the letter shapes, and you're not limited by the font anymore. It's not treating it as text at that point.
it converts it into the paths, the SVG paths instead of a font. So it converts it from text to graphics, basically.
Okay.
Yep.
I will check that out.
And I will see what's happening.
That's
with
just
this
way
guy.
too cool of a font not to use it.
The Terminator.
It is. It comes from the Terminator. It's called the Terminator.
Yeah.
I
So
looked up sci-fi fonts and I saw that one. It was like, oh, I'm doing that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, come on.
I like sci-fi, I must say.
Sorry, guys, I can't get back to Zoom to stop. There.
I was just reading the other day, H.G. Wells did a review of the movie Metropolis. and just absolutely hated it and thought that it was so derivative and just ripped off so much stuff. And it was just like trashing this movie. And I'm like, man, I love H.G. Wells. He was hella great, but like he certainly didn't have the historical context at that point to realize what he was seeing. Oops.
That's an interesting little fact for the day.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was on Hacker News a few days ago.
Cool.
I'll drop a link in.
Nice.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Anything else from anybody?
No.
All right, cool. Reach out to me if you need any help getting started on those issue updates. They should be, I broke them down so they're pretty small. So it should be pretty much pretty simple for you guys to tackle. And also, like I said, reach out to the new people on Discord and let's get those folks working on some stuff. There are 2 microservices or 3 microservices basically that I can assign people work to. So we have some more room for people to start coding. All righty. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good
That was
week.
awesome.
Right.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.